Welcome everybody to Got a Lot in Our Minds. This is episode 13, right, Chris?
Yep, lucky 13.
Lucky 13, baby. My name is Stevie B. You can follow me on Twitter at Stove11890, I think is my handle. I don't really know. I don't care.
He doesn't check anymore.
My co-host.
What's going on? I am Kells. You can find me at Kells55 or the business Iconic Visions. That's with an EYE. Today we have a very special guest. We met him through Marcana and Saya at the New Media Days, and it's Jeremy DeHitta. How you doing?
Hey, what's good, guys? Jeremy DeHitta here, Jay DeHitta. And yeah, man, I'm a founder of Dream But Don't Sleep and music video director, content creator, dad, and sneaker addict. How's it going, guys? Appreciate you guys for having me here.
No doubt, man.
Course,
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Content creator God.
Yeah.
Appreciate you long way, though.
At Dream Don't Sleep. Follow that on Instagram. Follow that at Dream Don't Sleep.
Dream but don't sleep. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dream but don't sleep. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no worries. No. Dream but don't sleep. You're good. I appreciate you. And shout out to Mark too. I like the way you say his last name, man. It's very kind of say hi.
Did I do it right? Because usually I don't think that might have been the first time I've ever gotten it right.
No, that's good. I mean, it's just that's my family, and sometimes I get nervous saying it.
No, yeah, Mark has always been like instrumental in like kind of like my development and getting back into like being like pretty much like what's the right word? Like having instilling confidence back in me, kind of, and just like he's just dope mentor. So
that's the GOAT. That's the Savage Yoda.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to tell everybody what Dream But Don't Sleep is and kind of like your journey, we could start off there.
Cool. Well, in a galaxy far, far away. So basically it's cue the music. We got VFX, we do some overlays.
Yeah, right.
So Dream But Don't Sleep is a media production company based out of Jersey City, New Jersey. We've been official for, I believe, going on 6 or 7 years. I got to check our LLC. But shouts to the block. Okay. We've been, basically creating content and producing all types of digital media for the past 6 years. Me personally, I came up as the water boy for Mark Caranseja's sets back in the day. So I got my first peek into the music video production world and fell in love. And it was a longer journey because I didn't really necessarily think it was a real thing that I could, dive into. But then seeing him doing his thing, it made a little bit more sense. But at the same time, it was a longer journey from that point to today. And, a lot of different internships, a lot of different roles and opportunities and life experiences kind of, all culminated to, get me to where I am now in terms of creating a team and creating a company, Dream But Don't Sleep, which is a media company that provides services for all sorts of different brands and artists and pretty much anything content related. I mean, content sounds very disposable, and obviously like a lot of things we do is like we're basically trying to help people communicate creatively, and thoughts are just like clouds, they come and go, but at the same time, they hold, they can have a different impact, depending on what the weather is that day. So for the most part, that's just kind of how we built this company in terms of just producing content, kind of learning digital media and how to produce and how to take photos and how to like produce video content and just all the different moving parts that, come together to make, production what it is. So I'm I'm blessed and proud to say that we're here, 6 years later. And especially through the pandemic, we're still, we made it this far. So glad to say that we're still cooking up content with a lot of different artists and different brands. And we're looking forward to what the future holds after, we're completely transitioned to, a newer place.
Fucking A, man. Killing it.
Yeah, that's dope. Definitely check out this stuff because it's quality work. Definitely an inspiration.
Appreciate you.
I love seeing, like, as a fellow creator and content like creator, I'm kind of like the person who loves to see other creatives working and like being successful because it instills like that inspiration into me. So I mean, seeing the work that obviously for the
Obviously.
past 3 years that you've been producing, because that's how long I feel like I've known you now, through Mark.
Yeah.
It's just been really, really dope, and it just, yeah, like I said, it gives me inspiration too.
That's great. And likewise, man, I've been checking out your work and seeing you cooking up. Like you're definitely on the list of people I'm checking for in terms of like what's going on. And like, I know I've tapped in with you for locations and things like that up by you, and just trying to, it's great to see, everybody cooking, because everybody has their own perspective, which, makes the game just like that, like bigger, I guess. Like, if this were to be like a league or something like that, like there's not like a set amount of teams. Everybody's kind of their own brand and has their own style, which is dope. So just seeing like you, especially your progression too, has been crazy. So yeah, that's inspiring in itself as well, man. So I'm glad to be able to do that for anybody. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, appreciate that as well. It's
That's a good perspective, because I've
Yeah.
always kind of like the same thing where like there's enough food to go around, there's enough money, there's enough views, like everybody can win, everybody. Like it doesn't have to be this dog eat dog type of fucking mentality for this type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's that's definitely, I feel like, a great way to look at it. And like I've had to like grow and mature. I'm a very I like to think I'm a business savvy person, and just when it comes to business, it's always a very hyper competitive environment. Always trying to be the best, be the first, and all these things. But it's like in terms of creative world, I feel like when I shifted perspectives, I feel like I'm focusing on making each project strong and trying to just grow within competition with like myself. I feel like
Yeah.
really is when shit started really accelerating, and then like everything else kind of came in. So kind of that energy attracted more work. So we didn't necessarily have to be out here trying to like just trying to be more competitive and look at what everybody else is doing and trying to like one up everybody else and trying to like figure out just in terms of that mentality, right? Just approaching content and creating with that type of perspective definitely was less productive. So yeah, but if you look at it that way, man, we're all out here cooking. Like everybody's got their own eyes, so we can go to the same place and shoot something, right? And then at the same time walk away with two completely different stories, even though we were at the same show or whatever it may be in terms of like content coverage stuff. But yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
That's even like a cool thing. That's like that might be an idea, to have a couple creatives go to one space and then just like see what they come up with. Have two teams go and see what the ideas or what the story comes out as.
Yeah, in my head I'm like, oh, it's like a shootout. But even too, but it's not even necessarily like there's a winner. It's just more just like and it's more of a like a screening, and we just watch everything and we kind of just see what everybody cooked, and it's like without having to like no judges or anything like that, right? Everybody just, it's for the sake of, or even it would be cool if it was the same team. Do they do this something like that? I feel like that sounds like something that exists, but basically same group of people, but then the director shifts. So like the same like director of one would become the DP on the next one for the next contestant or whatever.
As far as that, I feel like Mark does that when he's teaching. He'll have like you switch roles and you play each part as and learn each like that. And then back to the other point, it's kind of like all the Food Network shows where you're you get one ingredient and you all have to cook something. So it's kind of cool.
Exactly. Yeah,
Cool
that's fire. Yeah, like, or here's a product, here's a space, cook a commercial, within this period of time with like, one light.
yeah. Hey, might have a show here.
Yeah, that's fire. Absolutely. And that's dope that Mark does that. I think maybe it's where I've seen it. Like I wish I went to like film school or had an opportunity to be in an environment that really was like structured like that. But but seeing like when I popped in class and checked out what was going on over there at SUNY, it's just it was really dope and inspiring too every time I've gone up there. And obviously meeting dope people like yourself, bro. It's always a worthwhile trip.
Yeah, definitely. You guys started no snoozing sessions. Is that did you start during COVID or was it a little bit before?
So we had no snoozing sessions like way before COVID. So almost I want to say like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it was so one of our partners, Paulo Salud, shout out to Paulo. He's pretty much like one of our like top photographer, head of photography, go-to guys. We work with a lot of dope photographers, and it was back in the day, it was pretty much me and him. I would be on the video end and he would be on the photo end. And he eventually got a studio space, which is Grayscale Studios here in Hoboken.
Okay.
And so it's just, like a family spot where we were able to cook up. So early on, we were shooting those snoozer sessions there as like a way to, showcase what we can do in the space, but at the same time, showcase what we can do, with the visuals. And so, so that was started back then, and it wasn't live. Back then, it was just pre-recorded. And basically like a 3-camera shoot, and we would shoot it just pretty super clean white, like Apple commercial vibes, but then with peaks of the production, it's kind of showcase what's going on. And it's funny if you look back at it now, like the setup is so that those ones back in the day, it was, we were shooting all Canons too back then, and just even I think sometimes if there would be like a random like camera didn't match, and like just the set, we were using shower curtains to diffuse, like, which is obviously still acceptable even today. But it's just, it's interesting to see. And then so when COVID came around and basically we were looking more so into the streaming space, we saw, I was doing a lot of work with DJs and producing live streams for them remotely. So basically just creating assets for overlays and like animations and different visuals for to kind of like sauce up their streams. And then also helping like monitor the streams and getting everybody set up. Like we would do a 24-hour stream for to raise funds for COVID with Chilltown Collective here in Jersey City. And that was dope. So it was kind of like trial by fire. It was my first time doing something like that. But the homie Love Lisa, who runs and owns Chilltown Collective, she basically was like, we're going to do a 24-hour live stream, but every DJ's home. So we want to make sure that everybody is, ready to stream. And so that way it's a seamless handoff hour to hour. And then also to just keeping everything updated in the chat and just doing anything else that back end that needed to be done. And so we did that just off the strength and obviously to raise funds for a good cause, which it was ongoing after that. But I think we raised close, like, I want to say like 15K, maybe more, which was, it was cool for out here for all the first responders. We were able to, we did a lot of like supply runs and a lot of food runs, which was cool. We try to just show some love for people holding us down. But so then that opened my eyes to the streaming situation, and I was like, all right, this is dope. And I was like, I kind of felt limited because like that's cool, like running the back end and making sure that the next DJ is ready to go on before the DJ currently on is about to get off, and in case they need to buy time. Crazy situations, people's like, I decided to stream from the basement and I'm using Wi-Fi, and it's like, oh wow, great time to decide to do it right before your set. And then now I'm like, now I got to tell the other DJ, it's like, you're gonna go on for another 15 minutes. And I'm texting them, and then also some people, like when you're DJ, not really less checking your phone. But at the same time, it was interesting. But it's like same thing with any type of like show running. Those variables come into play, and you got to kind of maneuver and pivot. But yeah, so from there, we just, I was like, we want to produce something more so that way we can kind of showcase more on the production end. And like, so I wanted to like, just be more active. I'm over here watching the DJs and it's dope, but then I'm like kind of itching to like, let me queue up, try to control more stuff remotely on the production side. And so producing in those snoozing sessions, gave us an opportunity to bring back that old format where basically we get an artist, we reach out to artists and basically ask if they would like to be featured, and essentially set up a live performance vibe at Grayscale Studios. And it's almost like an unplugged music video. And now we're able to produce it live. So coupled that format plus the, what we learned with Twitch, shout out to Twitch. And then, so basically cooked up our own little public access, streaming music network that we produce every Thursday. We took past 2 weeks off to kind of handle some rebranding, but we're coming back this coming Thursday, and we'll be going strong through 2021. So we'll be announcing the lineup for that. But it's been good.
That's incredible. Even just like like you touched on the production aspect, and if you probably go back and look at those first ones to now, like the production aspect is just so dope of what it looks like and how it runs.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we're trying, man. We're trying to like elevate it a little bit more each time. And it's like Iron Man crew, so it's very bare bones behind the scenes. I'll be hosting, and then I'll jump back, and then I'll grab the gimbal, and then I'll like, ask the photographer to switch to like the other camera, and then now I'm switching up, and then right before the song ends, I gotta like, alley-oop it again so I could do the host transition. But we're still dialing in, but it's been good, man. I appreciate you for checking it out.
No, yeah, that's dope. I mean, it's kind of like a fun little element to like challenge yourself, and I mean, obviously you have the minor problems that might come up, but as long as you like, obviously you have all the experience now with everything else that you've done, so you can kind of like take it on head on at that moment, and then just like kind of problem solve.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's been good.
You kind of, I was looking through them and I'm watching, and you hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm like, this looks like a TV production, like, and like the MTV Unplugged type of like vibe. Like that's it aesthetically, like it looks like it's almost, or something like, it looks like a performance like from someone at like an award show. Like the way you guys set it up, like it looks so dope. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's definitely what we're, going for. We try to make multiple sets and make it as seamless as possible. One thing I noticed during like this whole pandemic, when people are streaming live, nobody really like when it kind of looks like this, or kind of looks more like a VMA vibe or a full production, it's typically pre-recorded. So they'll never really interact with the chat, and so, which is, I mean, like a lot of these bigger artists too, like even it really is live and they still don't interact with the chat, right? Like Chance does really live productions and has done like dope stuff with like Polo, and like it's multi-camera shoot with the big full band, and then it is streaming live. And he does address the audience, but I mean, some of them do have, I think, an interface now where like they have a screen underneath like where the camera is, so they can see just comments popping up. But in the past, I've seen pre-recorded ones, and I was like, damn, like it'd be dope if this was really live. And so that's kind of that was the kind of like the goal with this. So making sure that it was live. So then that kind of forced us to create multiple sets in one spot. Because if it's really going to be live and they're going to perform more than one song. And again, this is just us kind of just doing the most, like too much. And so it's like, let's build a set for every song and we'll do 3 songs. And I'm like, yeah, there's only 4 walls in this place. So it's like, if the DJ needs his own set, then it's like, we're like overlapping shit, and we make it work. And we always try to make it different every week, which is, I think, kind of like the challenge we really put on ourselves to like, really keep adapting it in the same space. But yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, man, because it's really what we were going for, that kind of VMA award show, Saturday Night Live vibe.
Yeah, it definitely has that look and feel and aesthetic to it. So it's twitch.tv/stream but don't sleep, and that's on
Correct.
Thursdays.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's all right. So every Thursday, 7:30, so everyone can check that out.
Yeah, 7:30, and the schedule is Thursdays we've been pretty true to, but typically 7:30 is the goal. But sometimes some artists, we've done later ones at like 9:30, 10 p.m. and we've done some like a little bit earlier. But yeah, if you subscribe on there, which is free to do, create a Twitch account. If you don't, it's a dope place, it's a fun place in the chat. You guys on Twitch?
We have one for the podcast, and then I have one for like, I don't know, I made one on my PS4 or something like that. I want to get more into it.
Yeah, same.
But we don't have the right space and environment to do that yet. But once we do, then we're gonna try to push that. But I'll definitely subscribe to yours one on our 2 accounts.
Cool. No, yeah, I appreciate that. Rack it up. But as far as the spot, it's cool. Even as like just a viewer, when I was first getting into it, it's like really like gamified. So it's like even just in the chat, like the more you kind of comment and the more you interact in the chat, you'll level up in terms of like ranking, and ranking comes with like badges and stuff. So it's like a video game. So it's really gamified in that sense. And like there's also different things that you can do like with the emotes and stuff with the channel. So if you subscribe to a channel, and some of them have like paid subscriptions, and then you'll get like certain like exclusive emotes. But it's like there's like hypey shit out there, like dudes making Supreme emotes, and like here's like like there's like Timberland ones. There's like, and some of them are just funny ones. So it's like fire to have like these, but then it's cool because then it links you back to the channel. It's like, what the fuck is this? Somebody's got like a Timberland boot, like when it says dead ass, like, and it's stepping on it. And it's like, who the fuck made that? So then you see whose channel it is. And then typically, it shares sensibilities. So you can be like, all right, cool. That shit's cool. And like off the rip, and this channel might be something I'm interested in. And then you make your way there. And then the emotes too are kind of like, I don't know. It's a crazy world, but you guys should just jump in there and check it out if you haven't had a chance to. It's a fun place.
I went on one night because like usually like when I get home, I'll sit down and relax and like I put on YouTube and watch whatever I randomly come across on YouTube. But then one night I was like, all right, let me jump into Twitch real quick, like because you know everybody talks about it, and I did it on the PS4, so it's like loads up all like games. I'm like, how like I understand like esports. I don't necessarily like me. I don't gravitate towards esports, but I get how other people do. So I'm like, all right, let me see what they're going on, and I'm like, oh, what are people playing? And it's like most popular games that are being played at the moment there, and it was like. I'm like, I don't care about that. And I was like, whoa, hold up. Someone's playing Ocarina of Time? And then I'm in there. And then next thing you know, it's 15 minutes in and I'm watching this guy play the water temple. I'm like, oh, this is how it happens. This is it. Okay. Like, I gotta get it now. But yeah, that's a dope platform.
Yeah, with the game and stuff, that's interesting too. Like I personally like haven't even watched too much gaming. So when I was playing Call of Duty a lot, I'd be trying to like check out the I mean, if we're trying to like tips and tricks, but like other than that, like the long form play, Ocarina of Time, like there's throwback shit on there. It's crazy. Like there's a community for like, you know, N64 games, which is dope. Like I think there's a Smash Bros. League that's on there. But yeah, it's interesting. But then like even like I feel like I'm in this bubble with these other people trying to use it for like this gaming platform for music and stuff. Again, I think like yeah, a lot of the DJs that I've known, like shout out to Tiger Mom Toy, Allison Toy, who actually like works with Twitch now, and she works with an artist managing Bohan Phoenix. Shout out to Bohan Phoenix. He's gonna be on the show, I believe in 2 weeks. You guys gotta check the schedule for that.
Nice.
Dream but don't sleep. But he's like doing all sorts of shit. He had somebody, his artist, basically live stream him designing his album artwork. And he was just getting drunk on the corner and he was just drinking like, yeah, do that. Ooh, that's fire. More of that. And then like just kind of creative directing it. But then shout out to, I think it was Eeyore out in San Francisco who was designing it. And then Bohan was out here in Brooklyn. And then everybody was just kind of chilling, watching it. And then Bohan was DJing. So he was just playing music, you know, while during it. But that's like, you know, it's a different thing, right? Like in terms of streaming and watching some shit, it's like basically hanging out, right? But then like having some sort of shared mission or destination. The gaming shit's dope too, but I feel like you can get like deep in a hole. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I knew another I mean they're DJs, but they're like a production company too, but they took that same kind of route. Like they were originally going through Facebook, but then they got flagged for I think because they were playing music, like the copyrights. So then they moved it to Twitch, but it's like that same kind of like I think that's like obviously it was created as a gaming platform, but I think where the way you're using it is how it's going to take is that next level that it's really going to take up where people can remotely do these productions and like you said, like it's a shared journey, but it's also please pardon my dog.
What's up, pup?
Yeah. Shout out J-Mo. But I could like it's a Thursday night and like I got to be up for work at 9 a.m, so I can't really go out, but I can do this. I can sit at my computer and I can go almost to this production from here. And when it's all said and done, I can go to bed. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to come all the way home. Like it adds a great convenience to a lot of people to still be able to experience and kind of do some of these things, you know? For
sure. That's definitely, it's cool. It's a cool thing, man. I'm old out here, so like this virtual stuff. I mean, remember chat rooms were popping. Now it's like, you can, like see shit, talk, and like you know, like interact, do all sorts of other shit, which is awesome. So, it's kind of like the feeling for me. It's a little reminiscent, but that's dope, man. But and also, you know, you can don't have to worry about drinking and driving. You just get turned up at the crib.
Yeah. You have a little watch
AOL
party.
Chat rooms.
Yeah, AOL was wild back in the day.
But yeah, man, we'll see how everything goes out too. Hopefully we can start doing that IRL shit too. Because obviously, you know, I'd like to get to doing that not competition, but that like, you know, basically all shooters on deck, little shootout, cook up. You know, we do a little live show. Or maybe that's the vibe, right? It's a kind of a quarantine type you know, era production where it's like, you know, it's just the artists and the shooters. And then like what they produce is what they get sent out to the public, right? To experience that show.
Yeah.
Who's gonna sponsor it? What's up?
Right.
Dropbox.
We got
Massive IO. Hit us up. Big file.
We got ideas.
There it is. What did I want to say to you? Oh, we were talking about this before we started recording too. So you're you. I don't know how to sound this without sound like an idiot, but you skateboard. You snowboard. You skateboard.
I dabble.
Yeah. Then your one story on your Instagram is called Skate Legs. Now, when you film that, are you holding your phone? Like I know back in the day, like it was right. You'd have like another guy like skating next to you, holding like the camera and getting like the low angles and everything. Like so now, when you do it yourself, are you holding like? Is there? How does that go about?
Is that a
let me put this
3D?
in
Is that a
perspective.
360 cam?
I'm fucking 6'3", over 200 pounds, and clumsy as fuck. This is not my avenue. All right, so I have no idea how to do this. So I broke my wrist skateboarding, so I have not touched a skateboard in 15 fucking years.
Heard you.
So I am so envious because I think it's such a awesome sport, and it's such a creative sport too. You know?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. But yeah, you got it, bro. I seen like 6'2". I've seen big dudes out here doing crazy shit on the mini ramp, shit that I can't do. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's you're never too old to skate. Shout out the Old Man Skate Club, which is a little project we started. Well, I started up. I'm the only one in the club, guys. Cat's out the bag. I'm the oldest dude and the only dude in there. But yeah, man, it's like basically I was just inspired to start skating more. I've always just cruised and shit back in the day, like in college, like. At University of Delaware, just like it's a small kind of like chill little college town, and I would just bounce from party to party or wherever I was going, even to class, and basically skate around. So I had got real comfortable skating, and then when I worked in the city, I would skate to and from work. But I would just be cruising, ollieing up and down curbs. But then through this like pandemic, I was like, damn man, like I'm a dad now, fucking getting out of shape, and I was like, I hate running. So let me just start like, skating more. And the mini ramp kind of was really like always intrigued me. And I just learned how to drop in like years ago and like just was able just to do it. And once I did it, I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to retire. And so now in Hoboken out here in Jersey, there's a super close spot to us that we hit up, where I hit up. And it's, just trying to like level up. So I've been learning a little bit more. And yeah, that's the shit I've been posting on the Instagram, Old Man Skate Club. And yeah, you guys check that shit out. But it's just fun, man. Basically, just trying to like let people know, like I'm 35, 6, and just still cooking. But also too, it's also a disclaimer. Like you guys saw, I busted my ankle 2 nights ago. Sprained it, thought I broke it or fractured it. I realized I didn't break it. I was just being paranoid. But like, yeah, it's pretty black and blue now. It's pretty swollen. And then I had to shoot the next day. So I was like, damn, it was a little stressful. Crazy thoughts crossed my mind, but we needless to say, we powered through the shoot. We went out to Philly. We shot with Armani Blanco. Shout out to Armani. And we cooked up down there. And it was an interesting day to be cooking up, shout out, congrats to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But
yes. It was a good day.
So it was a lot of energy, but also too it was interesting because I was trying to hobble around on this ankle. Ended up kind of like forgetting about it, powering through it, and then came home later in the day to see that it was fully black and blue, like on the bottom and shit. I was like, all right, but I mean, I don't feel it as long as I don't tweak it a certain way. So I've sprained it definitely worse in the past, but yeah, my car also got broken into, and fucking my boy's laptop got stolen. So shout out to Philly.
That sounds like Philly.
Yeah, shout out to Philly. But yeah, it was my boy from LA. Shout out to Jesus. You guys shout out to Homan, man. You just open up the floodgates.
Yeah, no.
My man.
Sure, you had to tape up the ankle for the shoot.
Yeah, man. So I just rocked out with it, and then going forward, I might need that brace. But yeah, Jesus' laptop got stolen out of the front seat, which sucked. But they popped the lock on the door. But yeah, at the end of the day, we'll talk about that when the video drops and we do the BTS interview, right?
Yeah, it's always content for later.
For sure.
So like when you got back into skate, like because you don't have it's not a desk job where you go and sit down. You got to be up, you got to be mobile. You're moving, you're at different shoots. Like you need to be able to use your feet, be mobile. So when you go and skate, is there ever that thought in the back of your head where you're like, fuck, like I can't mess up my knee, I can't mess up my ankle, like this'll, like you ever have that fear? Because like I sprained one of my ankles like really bad a couple years ago playing basketball. Kind of like same thing. Like you said, it was Barney Purple. I wound up in like a walking boot for like a week and shit. and
Yeah.
I was like, should I be doing this anymore? Like, am I too old? You know what I mean? Should I just shoot jumpers now? And but like, does that thought ever like cross your head when you go out to skate? Like, all right, I gotta play this
Yes.
safe, or is it?
I mean, to be honest, no. Just because like I'm a knucklehead and I've always kind of been a knucklehead, like snowboarding and stuff like that. But I do have all my homies and like my wife, or specific homies, that creative homies that are also on the freelance game. Shout out to Gilly the Kid, Gilligan Creative, sick VFX graphic designer as well. But he was just like, "Yo, bro, you can't be filming out here with no broken arm. Because your fingers broke, you can't hit the record button." I was like, yeah, man. But and I was like, yeah, you're right. But I was like, if that happens. So like I'm always, super pessimist, but also I try to like, or super optimist rather, with the when it comes to skating. But yeah, man, I try to easy style it, which like kind of like, I've tried new things here and there, but just try to experiment with one new trick each time I go, but nothing too aggressive. But once you're feeling good, it's kind of hard to like not feel like, oh, I'm crushing it. Like I could just, I could get a little go X Games mode on it. And like, but that's usually what happens. And it's always like the last like 10 minutes that you're there when you're right before you're about to leave. But so yeah, now, especially with this ankle from the other night, I was definitely worried. I was like, fuck, they were right. Homie was right, because I'm not going to tell. So that was in my head. And I was like, damn, I was potentially like, thinking about, because there was certain shots I wanted to get. I wanted to be going like, through like just uneven terrain and like the woods, like filming like a graffiti type location. And then also trying to get like tracking shots. And also, yeah, just those movement shots I was worried about filming because I have to be mobile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I was like, damn. And then Gilly's voice popped in my head about like, talking that shit about how, hey man, like, you can't do that. So basically I was like, nah, I got to power through and show him that I can't take this out. So yeah, man. So, I mean, it does cross my mind even more now. I'm definitely being a little bit more aware. I try to stretch every time I skate. And then, like I said, I don't really get too crazy. I'm not doing like, for everybody listening, I'm not like, I'm not jumping 10 stairs, I got this really baby, not even a mini ramp. Some people may even call it a micro ramp. So, but it's, we're out here just, having a good time, busting turns and just trying to like steeze it out. But yeah, I mean, I got to be a little bit more aware because the bounce back time at my age is not what it used to be.
Yeah, again, we're getting that there too. So
that's it. But it's, I think you stretch and you see Tony Hawk's out here, dressing up like Larry David and fucking doing the 540s, casually. So he's 50, right?
Yeah,
just turned 50.
Yeah, I think so. And then seeing those videos, you're like, damn, I can still do this if he's doing it.
Yeah. And but you see these other guys too, like Daewon Song. I saw a video with him. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Daewon, but he's like one of the kind of like, there's a lot of like crazy. I think he invented the big spin.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I don't know, don't quote me on that. But he got his ankle really fucked up and his shit was like super mangled and he never went to the doctor. And so to this day, it's still never healed properly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like up there too, maybe even getting close to 50. And this fool's still like skating, going crazy. I mean, I think there's certain tricks he doesn't do, but it's like, yeah, his shit looks like it. Looks like the Thing from a Fantastic Four. It's like how his ankle would look like. It's like, but it's hard. It looks like, yeah, that shit looks like a healed cartilage over, and that's just how it is. But it definitely doesn't bend like it used to. So, but yeah, man. But you gotta stay safe, man. You gotta also be aware that you gotta like cook up and be prepared in the event that if you're gonna be doing shit like that, because it's all part of mental health and self-care for me. So I need to do that shit to keep myself sane. Like I just wrapped up a meeting and I was like, I gotta pop over to the skate park, and it just happens to be nighttime.
Yeah.
Which also, my first time doing, and like same time I was like, all right, and then it's not lit for that. I was like, damn, I should have brought some apertures and like thrown the battery on. I'm like, all right. And then but yeah, so it's something to keep in mind for sure, man. But yeah, you guys, don't let it hold you back, man. If you guys want to go skate, pull up. We're out here. We'll eat, just do a little pushing around the lot, flat ground.
No, I think that's good though that you touched on like the kind of the mental health aspect. Like, I mean, everybody knows what's like for them in a sense. So like for you, that's your way to like calm down or to like go skate.
It's an outlet.
And yeah, exactly.
It's energy out.
Yeah. So I mean, even after like a long day of shooting or something, if you need to just go do that for yourself to like calm down, like that's dope. That's something that like we have to obviously talk about more and like be aware of, like when we're feeling down or even anything, to find the outlet to get us back to where we need to, back to our center.
For sure. Do you guys do like pick up any like new hobbies or any get to some passion projects that you've been meaning to through the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean this was kind of like we started it in the first we did a first run of it, and we kind of like we weren't on it as much as we are now, and we're like this was seemed like the best time to really start. We kind of talked about it back and forth, and then also I was doing like just graphics during COVID, and I started like drawing with the Wacom tablet that I have, so that's why I started doing the like the cartooning of the
yeah, and they look dope for the graphics.
Yeah,
you guys look dope, man. So am I gonna get one of those? Yeah, like
yeah, you are.
Yeah, fuck
you making my head big?
I was gonna ask you about that actually. That was one of the questions. How did that come about? But Steve, did you have anything else besides like this that you were doing?
Yeah, we started the podcast up again, and it was my fault that we stopped it and we didn't start it sooner, because Chris would hit me like every week. He's like, yo, you want to do the podcast? You want to set it up? And I'm like, yeah, I'll let you know. And I just never let him know. But I actually, like, during the quarantine, because I was, you're stuck at home, you only do so much of what you have. I started to try to get into like woodworking, and actually shout out him again, Mark Conanceja. Like, I hit him up because he got into that with, believe his was like Straight Out the Woodwork was his woodworking Instagram and brand, and just getting into, just kind of getting into all that. And
sorry about that, guys. My that's over here by me. Yeah,
it's all good.
Just saving lives over here in Jersey City.
And it's something I got from my father. Like, my father always had like a workshop, and he had a bunch of saws, and he was always making stuff with wood. And then finally, I was like, I had the time. I was like, I ain't got shit to do. Like, let me get into it. And it was one of those things that you start. I'm hitting up Mark. I'm talking with him. I'm watching YouTube videos, and I got like 3 wooden pallets from work, and I brought them over here, and I'm breaking down wood. And I'm trying to make shit with it, and like that was and then you throw music on, and then you're in your fucking zone. And it was a nice kind of like creative outlet to, get some serotonin flowing.
For sure. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Mark, I know he's out here cooking some crazy tables. His house is nuts. He's got some really dope pieces that he's cooked up. What's some of the things that you've cooked up that you're pretty stoked about?
Oh, I am not on the level he's on.
No, but just
I made like this. It's gonna sound stupid, but I like from the like I first part was like, because I didn't have like lumber. I didn't want to buy lumber from like Home Depot or a lumber yard. So I got used wooden pallets. So the first step was breaking them down, but like trying to break them down without destroying the wood. So you still gotta be able to use the wood. You can't just like hacksaw the shit to death. And then I made it's like a topper for my stove. So like where me and my wife, the way we're set up, we have like kind of a little counter space. So if I were to put this on top of the stove, it gives me like an extra counter. So I was able to make that.
I might need one of those, bro. That's fire. So basically, just it's like a convertible stove, right? So then you turn it into a tables out.
Basically, yeah. It's I'll ask you for your number once this is all over, and then I'll send you a picture of like what it is and what they're kind of called. Mark will probably make you a fucking dope one. Yeah. So you like put it over, so it gives you like an extra counter. So if you're not using the actual stovetop, you could put like plates or whatever the hell you need to put on there.
All right.
I made a shelf from scratch, which again is not much, but for me it was a small win. I took it, and there was something else I made, but I fucked up the dimensions on it, so I just wound up throwing it out.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's awesome. It sounds like you've been moving. I know it takes time to be building these pieces, like even just putting shit together from IKEA sometimes, So it's if you're going from scratch and reclaiming the wood. That's like. Shout out to that process, but it's like probably the reclaiming of the wood probably is real therapeutic, right? You're kind of like giving like new life to the shit, right?
Yeah, it's cool because it was all like these pallets, and they're like they're in this red and blue paint. It was weird. I guess they, for whatever purpose, that's what they painted them. Mm-hmm. But you take them, and then you, like I said, and I don't have not to get too deep into it, but I don't have like a chop saw, or I don't have like a table saw. All I have is like a skill saw, so it's freehand. Like I have nothing to kind of like guide the wood into place. So everything I'm doing is like I have to measure it, make sure the line is, draw a line, make sure it's straight, make sure it's level, and then make sure my hand is straight, and then which usually it's not. And then so And then
That's
you break the
awesome.
wood down, and then when you sand it, it takes some of the paint off, and then you see the original. I don't know if it's grain of the wood or like color of the wood, and then you put it together, and then you restain it. So it's like kind of like you said, like you're giving it like new life, and um, it was cool. It was a good process. I actually want to get back into it in the wintertime when I can't really go outside and do anything. So then I'm gonna do it in my garage.
That's fire, man. But it's doing everything by hand. Shout out to you, bro. I mean, and those imperfections, that's the character. You'd be like, yeah, I do this shit by hand. That's Mark's out here using tools and stuff. Come on, man. That's like
That's cheating.
yeah, cheating, man. He was using cheat codes. No, that's awesome. Is that the shelf back there that you made?
No, not that one. No, not those. There's actually, I don't know if you can see it. There's that door. That door opens up, and then there's a closet. So we randomly just like threw shit in there. But what I did is made the shelf to separate the top and the bottom. So like we store like our Christmas trees on the bottom, and then I made this deep long that goes the length of the closet. It's like goes underneath our stairs, so that we can organize things better in there. And kind of had to, that was I don't know. But
hey, get in it. It's I'm sure your wife's stoked about cooking up these organization things. I need some of that stuff for our gear.
Yeah, at first she was like, I don't know why you're doing this. Like, I don't think it's gonna work. And then now it's she's like, oh, this isn't a bad idea. I'm like, yeah, see, I had a good idea for once.
Small wins.
Count it.
Well, I definitely wanted to ask you about how the big head came about.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. It was one of the worst decisions I've ever made. I started making my head big on the photos, and then now I have to do it every time. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being lazy or copping out from this long standing tradition of making my head big in every photo that I post on Instagram.
Yeah,
some slide in there that aren't,
Yeah, I've noticed a couple.
But it's got to have a certain type of context where it's like, all right, it's not really about that. But yeah, man, I felt like during the time when I did it, I think it's been almost like a year now that I've been doing, I think. But yeah, it's been a while. And so essentially I just look goofy. So I want to amplify what it is as opposed to photoshopping to like be, to look different or like fixing like blemishes. I was like, let's just amplify what's currently going on. And and it was just like freak people out. Just like I should do it just slightly. So it's like kind of like do a second take where it's like,
that's yes.
And so people are like, we're essentially kind of just it may catch you, but it may be something that makes you look twice. And then, which is always a good thing, with the content. And then so kind of like, direct some attention to the caption and whatever. And the caption is kind of really where I go in and kind of tell you how I'm feeling and what's going on. But, but yeah, so as far as the big heads, it's just kind of like, a cool, fun little thing that I thought was funny. And now I'm just kind of, I feel like I'm committed to doing it. So
no, I definitely think it's hilarious every time it pops up on my feed. You kind of like you wait for it. Like you see the context of it or whatnot. Just everybody else is like kind of normal, and then you got I really like the one with the beard where the beard hair was like all combed out.
Yeah. I had the electrified beard. That was I was really thinking about shaving it at that point. And that was maybe like 2 months ago now. And so it's even longer now. If I recreated that picture, it's like I wake up and sometimes my beard is like in my eye. Yeah, I don't know. I think about chopping it. May have to take a
I was definitely the reaction the first time I saw it. I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, well, hold up. Is his head that, like, that's a big head? And then I'm like, okay, no, okay, that's definitely photoshopped. Like, the first time it caught me so off guard, I was like, what the fuck?
I had family members saying, like, yeah, we thought, so my cousin was telling my aunt, like, oh, no, I think his head is just big. His head has always been kind of big. And like, I was like, what do you mean? It's like not even realistic. But that's funny, man.
No, we think it's great. We think it's hysterical.
I appreciate it. If it makes you guys smile, keep on going. Yeah,
you could pepper in some of the regular ones every now and then. Don't feel obligated, but it's definitely funny to see.
No, I appreciate that.
I know earlier we talked you have a also a design project. Is that like kind of a personal passion project?
Yeah. So I started a like another account called Al Grindstein, and basically it's inspired by Albert Einstein. And just I used to use that moniker when I would like make quotes for my profile or my IG or whatever, and like essentially it's just like that's my like kind of my work ethic mindset when I'm like cooking up like productions or anytime I'm like trying to focus and keep myself motivated on that like on the work tip. And so yeah, so for this project, like I'm really into sneakers, and I decided to try to like learn more. I've had the opportunity to kind of to work with a lot of dope like sneaker brands and different artists within the sneaker industry, and they've everybody's blessed me with little gems and things I've seen and been exposed to. So I kind of like I've learned like a decent amount, and then just trying to through the pandemic tried my hand at like fucking around and really just messing with stuff since I had the time. And so I started taking shoes apart, and I started putting them in like frames, and I was calling them glass tombs.
Mm.
So like
Mhm.
basically like my old sneakers, like some of my favorite sneakers that are kind of like dead. I don't know if you guys can see this one. This is one of them, but essentially just taking it completely apart and then like kind of turning it into like an art piece, so I could still enjoy it and see it. But since I can't wear it anymore, since it's either falling apart or whatever, yeah. So it's kind of another outlet, creative outlet that I picked up along with skateboarding during the pandemic. But yeah, man, it's so that's been
That
fun. And now I'm like working on designing like my own shoe. So this is kind of like one of the samples that just came in,
Ooh.
oh wow.
and essentially it's a bootleg Jordan with a bootleg Jordan 1 with a lightning bolt. And this is actually the first prototype. This is actually full 3M all on the panels, like kind of like a Carolina Blue UNC Jordan 1. But with
Hmm.
this is like exact replica of the lightning bolt that's on our logo for Dream But Don't
Mm.
Sleep. And if you guys want to check this out, I just posted on my stories, but samples came in, but I don't know when this is going to come out. So by the time this comes out, probably won't be in my story. But at the same time, hopefully by then I'll have some more news. And that shoe's never going to come out, by the way. So just there's a bigger story to that, which I'll be creating some content around. But yeah, so this was the first design concept, and through ALG, Al Grindstein, also adapt, learn, and grow is kind of another like tagline that I've put with it to kind of help define the mission of basically me just experimenting with design and trying to figure shit out and basically just make stuff. And yeah, it's just really for fun and because I love shoes and just the products in general. Like just I love how storytelling can be applied to products. So
Hmm.
um but again, things kind of like ramped up with work too recently. So that's kind of I'm trying to get back to it. And just now I've been able to balance both or just kind of schedule both in. So within the next month, you guys should definitely expect some more stuff out there. So hopefully you guys check that out.
Is
Al
Absolutely.
there a
Grindstein. Yeah.
Al Grindstein? Follow him at Al Grindstein.
Yep.
I'm actually scrolling through it right now. Now, do you gravitate more towards Nikes? Is that more your style, or you just kind of what you had be to use, or
Well, I love like I'm in all different like I'm not brand like yeah I'm not I don't pledge allegiance to any particular brand. Like I'm just into footwear in general, and like even
Mhm.
the more obscure shit's dope, but it's just like kind of have something to it that like that I'm attracted to, or some sort of like story that kind of resonates, or something like something that's basically just make it dope. I don't know as passe as that term is. But yeah, these ones that I chopped up just happen to be Nikes because I've yeah have a bunch of Nikes that kind of are at the end of their lifespan, so I was felt comfortable chopping them up.
Mhm.
And then and yeah, just the Air Force One is just kind of one of those shoes that's really like I guess democratic, where like it's kind of it's a good palette for a lot of creators, and it was a kind of a safe space to start. And it's just like an accessible shoe that you don't have to really feel bad in case things go wrong because you can always replace the all white Air Force One. It's like
Yeah,
always in
exactly.
stock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, there's other like other shoes. Yeah, I mean, I really like Nike. I'm definitely a huge Nike head. I can't really, I'm not
No,
gonna.
I'm right there with you. Nike and
Hmm.
Jordan is like my usually my go tos. Yeah, I like you. I like all. I used to work. I'll tell people like I used to work for Nike, but in reality, I worked for the Nike outlet store, and I was a fucking You know, I helped. You told me what size shoe you need. I went to the back and got it. That's what I did. But I worked for the outlet store here for Nike, and I didn't realize like how deep sneaker culture was until I started working there, and all the guys that worked there were so into it, and that kind of got me into it, and that started a rabbit hole that I lost and I pumped a lot of money into. That's now just sitting in my closet. I.e. being shoes.
Yeah.
And, but then I didn't realize like how many different like styles of Nike Dunks there were, and then you get so deep into this process, and then I was making money that I could spend, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start buying all the Jordans that I fucking want. So now I have all these Jordans that are just collecting dust that I don't wear because I don't want to fucking scuff them up, and but I love it, man. I love shoes. I love them till the day I die. I really do. But there's actually a book. I don't know, maybe if you've read it. And Chris, have you read this book too?
I think I've read it.
It's called Driven from Within, and it says Michael Jordan, and it's kind of a story about him, but the story's more about the process and designing his first. I forget where it goes up to. Maybe it goes to 23, like number 23 with shoes. But it talks with like the designers about the shoes, and it's about how they came up with the concept and the influences behind how they made from like 1 to 23 and what they were going for with the shoes.
That's fire. I gotta pick that up for sure. I don't think I've seen that before, and it's focused just on the footwear, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it touches a little bit, obviously, like on his career, but like it's a lot about the, like I forget which one it was, but like they'll tell you like how like the design was like the World War II planes was the influence behind like one of the shoes and the process. Like like I said, I love shoes, and I thought it was a dope. I read it from cover to cover. Thought it was dope.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've definitely I always try to look up different videos on YouTube, and like Tinker Hatfield, he designed like most of them. Like that one, the Jordan 5 with the bomber planes, they got the like little flames on the bottom of the sole. Yeah. The Jordan 5s, which is dope, very iconic, and it's cool. Yeah, he's pulled a lot of different influences, you know, from real life and non-shoe related stuff. You know, for his stuff, he's the GOAT. Tinker Hatfield, he's definitely the GOAT for designers and just everything he's done for Jordan and Nike too. But yeah, I gotta check that out, man, for sure.
I think like the 13s is my all-time favorite, but I think they got like that little thing on the side, like that little like gem kind of. If I remember right, they said like the influence was like a tiger's eye or like a leopard's eye or something like that. Like that was the influence behind putting that there. Kind of like I didn't realize it was that
in depth.
In depth, you know what I mean? Like it was so like it was really cool to like see how far these guys take influence from and how deep it goes. It's really, really fucking neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I was able to do a couple of shoots with another company, Push Story. Shout out them. And it was like about sneaker culture and like learning about sneakers through Parsons, School of Parsons, and just like like you said, like learning about like designs and stuff like that, and then just like you kind of like breaking apart. I'm sure that's probably really cool to dissect it, and like almost like you're dissecting a frog in high school kind of thing, but like something that you actually want to dissect. So it's cool. And then like you can actually, the fact that you put it in a case to showcase it, like, and you can like not only was it something that like is new, it's something that like you've worn, so you have the memories with it, so you can just come back one day and be like, oh, I remember like the shoots or something I've done in it, or like the skateboarding I did in it. So that's kind of like a cool homage to like all the things that you've done.
Yeah, bro, you hit the nail right on the head, man. I really appreciate you for pointing that out. The frog idea, that's kind of like was my concept for like the style, how we displayed it in the glass cases. So it's like kind of like sprawled out, and you kind of like, you know, just like how if you guys ever have to dissect a frog in like high school.
Honestly, I was sick that day.
Yeah, I did it.
Coincidentally, or
honest, I don't remember. I don't remember if I was skipping just
both you guys were sick that day.
No, I did it.
Oh, gotcha.
And like
I was sick too.
my lab partner was, I forget who it was, but I know it was a female or a girl, and basically we get the dead frog, and she's like, "I'm not fucking touching it. You're doing the whole thing." And I'm like, "Okay, here we go.
Gotta get this grade."
Yeah.
It was I mean I was like in high school. I remember doing it and like having these like trays that had like the rubber layer on the bottom, which is what I really wanted to find, which I still haven't been able to source. But it's basically like a metal tray and has like a rubber like almost like in like, you know, a pie has like a cookie layer at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's kind of like that, but it's like rubber. So you kind of like pin the like parts to it into the little dish, and that's how you have to submit it for the grade. But yeah, no, it was really weird. I remember like dissecting a frog and having to do that, but it was just like I feel like once we kind of got into it, like it was like I guess you get these. I got desensitized quick. I feel like, but it's definitely a weird thing. But shout out to being able to do that on an iPad now with the kids.
That's actually
no more. Yeah, a lot of these frogs don't gotta
I
be
didn't know that.
sacrificial.
I didn't know that. You put me on to something new age education.
That's it. So nobody's getting cut.
That's also like if you like kind of like really get the time to really push this, like I think you'd get a good crowd if you could do like a pop up or even like a small exhibit where the shoes are dissected and they're on, kind of like what you showed us before, where they're in display there. You actually have the one on your the feed for Al Grindstein too, right? That's it's up there.
Yeah.
It would be neat, I think people would genuinely kind of show up to look and be like,
honestly, you can
like,
even.
I didn't realize there's so many little intricate parts to that shoe that have to all come together to make that thing that I wear that also functions on my foot.
And then you could even buy like a regular pair, like a new pair, dissect it and sell it as art.
Yeah, man, it's definitely, I appreciate it. If you guys are coming through, let's say we're gonna do it. We're gonna set up shop in the city, pull up. You know what I mean? But well, that's definitely the goal. So I've had definitely ideas of doing a space, and I think right now I'm just trying to like get back to finishing all these shoes that are half chopped up. And like right now I have about like I think four completed pieces, and then I have like different little collage mashups that I've done that are like actually in shoe form, but a mashup of different shoes, which you've probably seen on the gram, Al Grindstein. And but yeah, that's the goal. I would love to do like have a space where they could all be displayed and everybody kind of like experience them in person, because I think that's like even photographing. That's why I haven't really put them on the gram, because they don't really photograph well, if that makes sense. Like
it does.
I'm trying to like because with the depth of everything and like it's glass, like the reflection stuff, and so we upgrade. I'm waiting on some homies who do woodwork. Well, actually, I gotta see. I'm trying to find some custom, cases, and basically have people control like the complete shape and then the quality of the glass and stuff that goes in. But yeah, we may be doing a show soon. We're kind of just the pandemic kind of has been really throwing some loops in there. But there's definitely shows going on now, like the Futura show, and then Cause has one coming up, I think, in December. So it's just just got to keep the capacity low, timed walkthroughs, But
yeah, it's about adapting.
Have you ever gone to SneakerCon?
Yeah. I used to go to a lot of the cons back when they were first starting up, like Dunk Exchange, SneakerCon. SneakerCon we've actually had as a client. Like I used to go and like have tables, but then SneakerCon. Wait, no, it's not SneakerCon. Fuck, Joe's gonna kill me. So the other one, so there's Soul Exchange. Sorry, Soul Exchange.
Yeah. Okay.
They were one of our clients for a while, and when they were happy with that, before they opened up the shop downtown in Soho. But yeah, just doing, because they were making it like a concert plus a sneaker show, and this is actually like even before Complex Con, really. Which is ironic. Nobody really talks about that. Like these sneaker shows kind of like created the format for Complex to like create Complex Con. But it's all culture. It's culmination. Those people are all part of that anyway. It's all not even on the back end too. But yeah, I used to go to those all the time, and like they were cool in the beginning, and then I started feeling really old, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like, "I got to get paid to be here." But it's for the shoes and everything. Like those things are really cool. It's interesting to see like how the community has grown and these kids out here hustling and making a business out of it. But the reselling game too. Like I got homies that are really deep into it, and I got homies that fucking hate it. Like they like frown upon it. And even too, like as retailers and shit, like they don't want. I mean, I don't know. Some retailers don't really care, but some of them like want the shoes, like especially like in the SB world, like the skate shop shit. They want to make sure that the shoes are getting to the kids that support the shop, as opposed to people who are just going to buy it and resell it. But yeah, I don't know where we're going with that. I forgot what the question was.
No, I think we just kind of ran on a tangent.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which is it's always
the best content, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I would like to make the show a fucking party. You know what I mean? Like everybody can come through and we can kind of be in the space at the same time and really like chop it up and like just geek out over shoes and kind of like talk about the like I wanted to have like stories accompanying. That's dope. You said that, man. Because you seen anything like that where I mentioned like kind of the stories behind the shoes and kind of because that's like really what I'm trying to go for and even create like content or even just like written pieces that kind of say like the sentimental value for these shoes, right? The reason I want to keep them alive.
I don't know if I've seen anything like that. It was more like on the educational aspect that I've seen, where it's like they're teaching the younger generation about shoes and like kind of like development and like what they're using kind of thing. I wouldn't say that I've seen the other side of it, which is kind of cool.
Copy. Well, yeah, it's dope. And I appreciate you saying that, man, because that's definitely like I try to do like for me shoes that have sentimental value, and then so it's like. And I got like crazy stories, right? Like I feel like a lot of shoes, like sometimes they'll bring back memories, right? You ever see a shoe you wore in 6th grade and you're like, oh,
honestly,
man,
I don't know if you've ever came across this, but I have never been able to come across it again. But back when I was playing basketball, like in I don't even know, like middle school, there was a Jordans. It wasn't like a number, but I called them the Oreo because they were half white and half black. And I've just never been able to like I don't know what they were, but I had them and I wore them. And they had like one that was a Carolina blue too, but I don't know what they are. So if anybody does know,
it's weird. My sixth sense is like just putting images of shoes in my head, and I'm just like scrolling through my mental Rolodex of what shoes that were in them. Because back in the day, Team Jordans were really popping. I mean, to me at least, I used to rock Team Jordans back in the day. A lot of people like whatever, fuck what people think, rock what you want to rock,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's that whole, but the Team Jordans back there, they also had that little gem in it on the side, kind of like in the was it 13s we said, but so yeah, there was like a half, I'm gonna try to pull up one right now, but I'm
pretty sure it was just vertical, like straight, like in half, one side was black and one side was white.
Copy. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this right here. So this one is the one I was talking about. There's a black version like this one.
Yeah, it may, if my memory is wrong, it could be,
there's
but
so many,
from what I remember, it was just half and half.
Copy. Word. But yeah, so if you saw that shoe, that's a shoe you gotta have. Like, it'd be dope to have again.
Oh yeah, I would pay for that. Like it's just like that.
It's obscure shit too, it's like it's sentimental too, which is dope. And if you had that original pair, or maybe from like back in the day, like that's one I would say is a good candidate for a glass tomb to be, put in a case and like put up. Yeah, man, that's dope.
Yeah, I like kind of like what your exactly your name. Like that's that name is pretty much what it is. You're like big up in like what you kind of like a tomb. Like you go, you kind of trying to I don't know the right words that I'm trying to say here.
Think about like if you kind of like, I'm not too well versed in history, but like now when people die, more or less, not to get deep, but like you put them in a grave.
Yeah.
But when Egypt, when pharaohs would pass, they would be put to the afterlife in a tomb. They were praised. They had this monument here that showed where they lie, and it was like this great show of like what the tomb reflected kind of what they were, and they were great and they were powerful and they were praised. And so a tomb is like this is where things of power and things of beauty and things of greatness go to rest. You know what I mean? It's a better word. It's a great way to phrase it. The glass tomb. You know what I mean? It's dope.
Just sounds cool.
Trying to add some like reverence to it. It's like kind of put it on just keep it alive and show a little like respect to it, I guess, right? And then just keeping it alive in the afterlife, right? Kind of exactly like that the Egyptian burial vibe. And also they used to also put all of their valuables. They wanted to be buried with all their valuables. Yeah. So it's like all the things. So this is kind of like one of the valuables, keep it all the pieces together. Yeah, man, that's dope.
Yeah, that's dope. That would be so cool to kind of just geek. I've always said too, like, and I've had to, just because of staying on a budget and other things. Now I try to buy shoes on sale when I can, but I've always like had the mantra in my mind, like, there's two things for your life that you're always in. You're either in your shoes or you're in your bed, and those are the two things you should spend your money on, because that's what you're in the most of your life, either your shoes or your bed.
I gotta tell my wife that. That's it.
that was
That's it. It's like it's an investment. I mean, we had a lot of.
that's how I always used to justify it. I'm like, hey, if I'm not in my bed, I'm in my shoes, and I'm gonna spend the money on what my feet are in. You know.
Absolutely. And the bed too, man, is never something to skimp on. Like now, like again, I don't know if that was like old guy thing, but as I get older, I was like, oh man, I mean, back in the day, I didn't really care. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, as long as I have a bed and I have a spot, it's like cool. And like, it wasn't necessarily like I needed now I got that purple mattress and it's like, oh man. And I went from the Bobopedic to the purple mattress. Like, yo, it changes the game, man. And dream but don't sleep. Contrary to popular belief, we definitely love to sleep. Naps are very essential, and you know, you got to make sure you're well rested so you can be out here cooking. It's the metaphorical sleep, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always a constant grind, but it's actually funny because like growing up, like even in college and stuff, you're like sleeping on the floor, or sleeping on somebody's couch or stuff, and now you go and do that, and you're like, wake up, you're like, oh, my back, I can't be doing that anymore.
It's like college. You wake up on your like living room floor, like what do you mean? It's like, oh man, and then like
oh, I'm ready to go again, and now you're like, I need that bed.
Man, yeah, I feel like I got punched in the rib. I fell asleep on the couch last night, and then I woke up this morning. I feel like I got snuck in the rib, and I'm like, wow. It's like this is from the skate injury, but it's like popping up later. And I'm like, nah, I'm pretty sure I just was sleeping twisted on the couch with a dog. And then shout out to his name is J-Mo. My man, but he be out here like trying to cast spells on me. It's like, yo, man, you should just go to sleep.
J-Mo full bred pit.
He's a bully pit, so is what they told me. Pit. So he's supposedly got a French bulldog mom, half pit, half French bulldog mom, and then his dad is half American bulldog, half pit. So he was like a little brolic dude, like wide shoulders, low to the ground, and then mom was kind of like a tall like Frenchie, but we know that's just what we were told. So he's kind of like, you know, like a micro pit. He looks like kind of like a puppy, but he's 4 years old. He's got a big head.
He reminded me kind of because I was looking through his Instagram. He has his own Instagram. He reminded me of the dog from Homeward Bound a little bit. Oh,
word. I gotta rewatch that Homeward Bound.
That's a throwback.
You know what I'm talking? You ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah, I used to love that growing up.
Isn't that the one? Was it not the? He wasn't the main dog though, right? The main dog was like a Lassie type of dog.
So like a I don't know if it was a golden retriever.
I thought it was a golden retriever.
Yeah, the golden retriever. Oh yeah, and this guy, he looks like a pit or like a bulldog. Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, this dude look like he could be he's like his uncle. He's like a little bigger. I gotta revisit that. But yeah,
dope movie.
Yeah, me and my wife are big on you know, we hate this narrative that like some bully dogs, and especially pit bulls, have gotten like this, you know, this bad rep, you know, around them. And you've posted videos of the dog with your child, and like they're originally, I'm pretty sure from the research that I've did, like pit bulls and bully dogs, they're called the nanny dogs. Like, because they were so good with kids and they were protective of kids and they did so well with them. And then somehow they've gotten this narrative that they're these mean, vicious dogs. Like Denver just passed that you're allowed to have a pit bull again in the city. Like that, like it's just fucking crazy to me. Like they just reversed it.
Wow. So in Denver, in the city, you couldn't own a pit bull?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't even know that. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a big stigma with pit bulls, and you know, people just immediately think that they're like by nature like an aggressive, like mean dog. But yeah, no, it's like he's a big mush, our dog. I think just like any dog, you know, some dogs that aren't pits, they're like assholes. Like, you know, if they're kind of, you know, treated, you know, if they're treated that way, it comes out to how the owner raises them, you know. Mm-hmm. And even at that point too, like, you know, dogs who get rescued and have like messed up lives, like it kind of, you know what I mean, they still, you know, can like be retrained and things like that. But yeah, no, pits are really in general by nature, like just I fear for the owner and like really protective for sure. And like I think he's been done really well with my daughter, man. J-Mo's loved that. He's a big bro. J-Mo's big bro. So it's a little Sia, and she's definitely probably the bully out of the two. And he just tolerates it. But and sometimes he kind of like avoids her because he's like, oh man, here she comes. She's got like a plastic claw in her hand. She's about to come whack me with it. And he kind of just avoids. But they nap together. Like he snuggles up with her when she's napping, and like, you know, they're definitely buddies. And we were at first definitely like, wary because of that stigma. And he's our dog. So, but you can never really predict what a dog's thinking, you can get a vibe, right? But you can't really, know for sure if like, their thought process. So just at first we were a little wary, but as we kind of saw like him, I think it was the first time, it was like we were all fell asleep on the couch and he kind of like nestled up under her feet. And while we were like, my wife was holding my daughter, and yeah, we were just like, oh, so he's like, he gets that he needs to split that time. Typically he'd be in the lap, and so now he's cool with kind of like sharing it. But yeah, just once kind of as she gets older, she's 2 now, they play and stuff, and like she's definitely making the most of their relationship. She's out here trying to ride him all the time, trying to tell him to do stuff, and he's completely deaf, so he does everything by sign language.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's also 2 months. Hopefully, he's at an appointment next week, but he also had cancer, which was a shitty part of the pandemic quarantine times. But so yeah, he's 2 months now since finishing chemo, and hopefully he's still in remission. Like right now, he's looking good, feeling good. But the last checkup, he was still in complete remission. So we got another appointment coming up this week. So fingers crossed for the homie. But
gotcha.
Yeah, man,
knock on wood, man.
Yep,
fucking up cancer out here. So hopefully he can keep on doing his thing. But yeah, man, it's we gotta just like I don't know what I was about to say, but yeah, we love him, man. He's great with the kids, and I think all kids can be great with kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out J-Mo for fucking
up cancer.
Yeah,
his name is J-Mo, my man.
That's dope. That's good. That's a good story. That's a good vibe. So Jeremy, is there anything else you want to touch on? Chris, anything else you want to touch on?
Well, how do you feel? I mean, balancing kind of like your home life and then also like shooting.
Oh yeah.
Being like a dad and stuff. I know you have to split the time there too.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of my calendar is just I share a calendar with my wife, and basically she obviously works with us as well, so we are us, so we're a big part of us. So she helps pretty much manage me and make sure that I'm on top of like what I got to do. So she's more aware of my schedule sometimes than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so within that schedule, we also make it a point to like, budgeting time. And I always try to like, just make sure that if I'm not, whenever there are gaps, if there's nothing there, try to like always default to like, getting back to like family and hanging with my daughter. And luckily, just the way we have this set up, like the studio is very close to home, and I have a home office, which has been getting full use throughout the pandemic. So, it's not a far trip to, go kick it with the family, which has been great in post-production times. But then, when production days come about, that's, part of the gig. But yeah, man, just like anything else, we just budget time for what's important, and that's definitely really important. So I think literally putting that in the calendar has been good. And yeah, and in default, if there's gaps in the day, try to make it kick it with the fam. And also, I really like spending time out with my family. It sounds stupid to even have to say, but it's just like it's recharging, it's refreshing. Like I could be having like a really tough time with work or like projects and just struggle with an edit or anything, you know how it is, kind of get into a funk, but then it's almost like instantaneous. As long as like my daughter's being nice, sometimes she's a little mean, a little cold, but when she's friendly, it's dope. She'll pull up and pretty much she could just instantly change the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to make that.
I definitely think that's definitely important, because like I feel like sometimes people might be like a little wary or like trying to figure out how to budget that time, because they know, like, I mean, especially now with the pandemic, it's kind of like a little different where you can maybe spend a little bit more time with family. But like if you're on these shoots and stuff and you're away from your family for extended period of time, I think it's hard to really like sometimes manage that time. So it's cool that you have that kind of not that far of a trip, so you can manage the time and that, and kind of also just having now the home office with the COVID, I'm sure that's like a blessing to be able to spend more time.
Correct. Yeah, but also when things are in full swing, when there's those
Mm,
projects where I gotta go hit the road and like, okay, I'm gonna go on tour with
mm-hmm.
like, Monster Energy and Cypher Sounds for like, I don't know how long, that was like a 3-week tour. Which is kind of like a baby tour compared to some of these other,
Yeah.
bigger music tours where they go months at a time.
Yeah, like a whole
Um,
summer.
yeah, so it's and that's fire, and those are really great experiences and great opportunities. And I think like a lot of my earlier festival days, I had experiences with like Mark Seha and
Hmm.
basically Noisemaker Media, just throwing me into into these cool positions where I'm able to like have those experiences. And I think having them earlier on, you're a little bit more flexible. You got better legs. You can be out there for these long
Hmm.
days running around. And then deliver edits the same day, which is great. I came from that environment, and it's definitely built into the work ethic now. But in terms of like now, like it's just for me to go on tour personally, like I would need to be like I probably put one of our team members in there, but depending on what it is, or try to like budget it across the team where it works out. So what I mean, we can cover it and make it happen if that's a possibility. And if not, we always figure it out. I never like to say no to anything. I always like to try to
Hmm.
find a solution.
Hmm.
And me personally, I would love to go on tour and do those types of things. But again, family is a huge thing that I take in consideration now. And I think also too, the type of work that I'm looking to do, it's coming from more of a place where it's like, pre-production, production, post, as opposed to, run and gun. And I think, a lot of those longer, but then again, there's other productions, bigger commercial productions and things where you're out on set for, weeks, days at a time. And like, that's definitely part of part of the gig and part of the nature of the business. But yeah, I mean, right now we're actually in talks for a couple projects where I may be, looking at traveling in December. And again, it's just one of those things kind of taking in, checking in with my bosses,
Yeah.
making sure everybody's accounted for. And even too with the pup, we gotta,
Yeah.
but yeah, but just budgeting that time, and making sure that it all works is definitely when there's a will, there's a way.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think this year kind of besides just COVID and just like the sudden passings of Chadwick and Kobe, that kind of like frameworked my mind of like where do I want to spend this extra time, and like kind of usually like family and friends, that's where I default to now too, because I just want to, you just never know, and I'd rather be like cool with maybe saying no to a couple things that maybe have gotten me some money if I can spend more time with family.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Shout out your counterpart too, because that's a team effort. That
Hmm.
that takes the whole.
Yeah, shout out to
You know what I mean?
Maxine, my wife, Max Eva. She's yeah. And wouldn't have yeah, I wouldn't be here, guys. she's she's really she does, yeah, she's everything from, uh yeah, from production. She can edit, she can out here, she can draft contracts, and she can, handle scheduling. She's and she also and runs our family at the same time. She's
That's
she's really I can't even put it into words. I really basic way to say is I wouldn't be able to do it without her for sure.
Yeah, it's boss. That sounds awesome.
For sure.
So, yeah, that was dope. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else on our minds that we want to talk about? What we got? Anything? Everybody good?
What
You have
about you?
any,
Yeah, go for it, Chris.
no, I was gonna say, yeah. Do you have anything else that you'd want to shout out or just even talk about? Plug.
Uh, no, I mean, in terms of plug, like, yeah, I mean, I think you guys helped me touch upon all that stuff, man. Like, Al Grindstein for the sneaker stuff. We got some exciting stuff coming out. I always say we. I guess it's just like this collective thing, but that particular project is just a kid out here.
You're so used to dream but don't sleep, so you're just in that constant we.
Yeah, that's it. I really just make sure the whole team is accounted for, because it's a lot of homies out here that are cooking up to make sure that the whole service is proper.
Yeah.
But yeah, Al Grindstein. Yeah, definitely check out No Snoozer Sessions.
Absolutely.
Thursdays we'll be back next week, and next week we got the real TKV coming through, and we've been working a lot with TKV, and so it's dope to be able to have him and come through and bless us on the session next Thursday. And yeah, man, shout out to you guys, man. This is really dope. Like, I really appreciate you guys for having me on this on this podcast, and it's been dope. Appreciate you guys letting me therapize over here. My therapist is on vacation, so I leaned on you guys.
Of course, no problem. That's dope.
Man.
Real quick to say about the real TKV, right? That was the
TKV is his. That's
TKV.
IG is the real TKV. Yep.
Yeah, that behind the scenes that you posted is just phenomenal. I loved watching it. It's kind of got me inspired inspired and also pumped to see when that comes out. So I'm excited.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, I think that was for the Mean to Me one, right? The one where he was with the piano. Yeah, shout out to Alan Tan. Actually, yeah, I want to shout out the team, man. Alan Tan.
Yeah, shout him all out.
Yeah, the Alan Tan _ the Alan Tan. He's if you go and check out that BTS on my Instagram, DeHitta the Kid, DAHEATA the Kid, DAKID. But yeah, it's probably easier if you people link her. It's he's the G, man. He's really talented. He cooks up a really lot of fire content for his personal stuff and then all his client stuff. But the BTS for Dream But Don't Sleep, a lot of the BTS video he's been cooking up, and that particular one he definitely laced it. And
on it.
Yeah, we collaborate too, like a lot. So it's cool to we bounce ideas off each other. Like even everybody, it's a really open, open format in terms of how we cook, and we want to make sure ultimately we all have the goal of making the content, as fire as it can be, and and just having more eyes on it, and obviously eyes and minds that we trust and we share, sensibilities. It's always really, it's really reassuring at the same time. And it's also really dope for the process, because it's we're always pushing each other to try and do different things especially with edits and production. But yeah, and shout out to Josh Alas. He's definitely one of the ride or die OG homies that's been out here since Paulo Salud, the homie, photographer homies. But those are two of our, our top shooters for photography. And we have a lot of dope photographers that we work with. And then Baldy Snapped, he's been cooking up a lot of the BTS for the No Snoozing sessions. Artist portraits been fire. Who else? And I'm not gonna be able to mention everybody, but we have a very extended family. But just off the top, just some of the faces that I've seen in the past, a couple of weeks. But yeah, Jesus, the homie too, man. He's out here. He's cooking up a lot of dope footwear and a lot of content. The homies over at Artie Dash. Who else? Yeah, man. I don't know. Shout out to you guys, man. And I appreciate you guys for having us, and Dream But Don't Sleep, everything that I'm rambling about. You can go there. We try to make sure everybody gets the tags on there so you can see who did what. Shout out to Rianja Lee and Callie. We just dropped a music video with them. We're with Rianja Lee. So Callie's actually also an artist, but also her husband / manager. We just produced a video and dropped it last Friday called Okay, which was filmed also at Grayscale Studios. We actually had a little, I don't know if you're familiar with the handbag company Telfar. But it's basically it's really dope. From what I told from the ladies, it's a really dope new brand. Not new, but they've been around, but they definitely been popping off and making a lot of waves in terms of fashion and culture with their content. It's a Black-owned business and just making big strides in the handbag, and even they do a lot of cool products for men as well. For men's, all these men's out here.
All the men's.
And we did a collaboration with Eat Good NYC, our good friends over there, Benny and Carolina. Benny Lena, as they're known as one unit. They make crazy baked art, I'd like to say, and they're called art eaters. So they create basically they created this handbag that came out Friday, and they created a life-size version of the handbag as a cake. Ooh. And it was a 6-layer chocolate with it was the icing, buttercream icing. Oh man, it was crazy. But if you check out, I just reposted it on my stories, but Telfar on IG, they just posted it.
I definitely noticed that earlier.
Word. Yeah, and it's they make cool selfie cupcakes too, and really fire sneaker cupcakes, which obviously you guys know.
I don't know if you were really big on Twitter, but a while, I would say during the pandemic, maybe a month or two ago, there was this thing going around that everything was cake. And you would see people cutting into it might be shaped like a baby and look like a baby. Oh, and they would start cutting into it, and everybody was freaking out, what are you about to do? But it just blew up. And then now every time people see cake, they're like, oh my God, is it Is it cake or is it something real?
Yeah, that's crazy. I forgot about that. Still, you bring that up, but there was some really
Yeah, some
like
intricate
realistic
cakes.
looking shit.
That's
The
just what
big
it
one I
brought
think
my
was the
mind
one I
to.
saw. They cut like the head off, right? Like the top of the
Yeah.
head.
Like that kind
That's and it's super traumatic to watch, but then it's like nobody turned it off.
No.
Yeah.
You're like, what
But
else
I
is
guess, yeah,
cake? What else are they making into cake?
yeah, man, that's fire. Yeah, I got to revisit those. But yeah, so they do things along those vibes. But yeah,
That's pretty
definitely
cool.
on a very they're sick with the pop culture stuff. They're really fast,
Yeah.
which is cool. So like stuff will happen. I'm sure I haven't checked out today, but I'm sure there's like election stuff, cupcakes
Yeah,
that
like
they
a
drop.
Biden or something or
Yeah,
Kamala.
yeah.
That's cool.
Um,
That's cool.
and one shout out to just for kicks, man. Too look rich as fuck is his it's his Instagram. But the homie David Park, he's if you see my my logo or not my logo, but my like fuck, I'm old. What do you call it? My
AR?
picture. Yeah.
Okay.
So like the little cartoon version of me on my profile. He drew that of me way back in the day. He used to be an illustrator at Complex, and he's still a dope illustrator. But he works freelance does a bunch of dope shit. But he blessed me with that, and I just want to say he's also somebody you guys should check out for. Like I get my news like low key from his shit, and he's just doing like characters of like, and it's like sometimes you may have no idea the context, but then if it's like it gives you enough context where if you don't know what's going on, you can look up whoever that is.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, this happened, and it's obviously very, or not obviously, it's very targeted to like streetwear and like fashion, but also like, you know, pop culture and pop art in general. But it's a cool thing. But I'm always like blown away because he'll be so fast that shit will happen, and then within the hour he's drawn something about it, and then I'm like, oh man, I was like, it's like I can't even process yet. So I like it when I know what's going on and I say, oh shit, that's funny. But then like sometimes I'm getting my news from him. I'm like, I gotta like look this up so I know I'm in the know.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you check them out, look rich as fuck. With, like,
definitely link us, and
views.
we'll always love to learn. The learning process never ends.
Yes, sir.
Look rich as fuck. I just wrote it down.
And I think it's like you touched on the kind of the team aspect. I don't know if you've seen the South Park documentary where like everybody's in a room and they're crafting like each episode week by week. That's kind of like where my mind goes to it, because it's like when you have that creative team, they kind of they inspire you, and then you can bounce ideas off of. And it's almost like a competition thing, but it's like in like your teamwork aspect. So it's like you're making them better and they're making you better. So it's always fire to have that team that you can rely on and be creative with.
Absolutely. Yeah, that documentary was fire. I did see that.
I never knew they made
intense.
it in a week. I was like, how do you make something that good in a week?
Yeah, that was insane.
And super current. Yeah, they're definitely a testament to that current, shit goes on, and then they're
turning it around.
But it's like, yeah. And then that process too, I think also it breeds like a different type of work ethic where they're like, it's kind of like, the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan, that you gotta be kind of synced in on a certain level where it's like, the process is really there. So that way you can, take on those challenges of making shit really fast in a short amount of time and make it fire. Super like historic shit. South Park episodes are like, you can get your history through South Park.
Yeah, which is wild. They're like better than the news at some point.
I never thought about that, but that's actually pretty true. Like, if you go back through South Park, you have current events in history like recorded through their lens.
And you are like, I forget what it was, but they got credited for like being like so well researched in like one aspect by like a brand. I forget exactly what it was, because I mean they do the research on what they put it out there in a way that's not like they're making fun of stuff and taking little bits and parts. But if they like do like let's say if it's like mental health, they'll actually like research mental health, or if they do an episode on something else, they'll research it and they'll bring you all the facts in a funny way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it's credible. It's like it's credible to a certain extent, right? Aside from all like the the crazy shit, but it's like the comedy's based in merit, right? With information that has merit. But it's like they actually do that research, man, and it's legit. And I guess that's how you got to be really informed on it to really make good puns on it. But
Yeah.
that's dope, man, to be recognized for that shit. That's like it's different, man. Our generation is like, like literally we're gonna maybe bringing up South Park, maybe bringing up memes and shit in history class and like about
Yeah.
it, in
Yeah.
a decade.
That's a funny thing too.
Yeah.
Some people get the wrong information from memes, but sometimes they can be right.
There could probably be a class just on like that
Oh
aspect in
yeah.
general, right? Just in terms of like, I mean, are there classes like that? I mean, it's been a while since I've been in college, but you guys
I
you
mean,
guys are out too. But
not exactly memes, but I know Mark was very instrumental in roasting us with memes.
Yeah.
Which was always,
you got to communicate in a language that
yeah.
everybody understands.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta. I mean, if you're just teaching in a way that's not going to relate to the kids, they're not going to learn. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he definitely, from my experience, from the times that I've been up there, I think that's definitely been a dope thing that he's really focused on making that environment, right?
No, yeah, instrumental. He's one of the best creatives and professors that I've ever that has graced my life. So definitely big up him always.
Fire, man. Yeah, shout out to him, man. It's same here, man. I'm blessed to know him and be able to to have the opportunity.
Family,
yeah, man. Yeah, he's fan, man. I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, and yeah, it's funny. Yeah, like, yeah, it's funny. It's I got like other cousins too. It's like, oh yeah, did you talk to Mark? It's like, yeah, I talked to Mark. So we haven't talked to him in a while, but I guess like because we share, a lot of common interests and things that we connect. But it's like, it's funny, man. He's Savage Yoda for real.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely.
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you can go on.
I always like whenever I conversations, I just try to like make sure before we part ways that I get like any like good movie suggestions or show suggestions I should be watching.
Ooh, that's good. Let me think. I definitely watched some stuff that recently that I really liked. I don't know if you saw Trial by Chicago. What was the name of it? Trial of Chicago 7, I think it was.
Oh, I just started that.
It is.
And I think
the Trial of the Chicago 7. I thought that was really amazing. And then it's just also kind of like a history lesson to see that like kind of how another example of how our justice system kind of really fucks people and they really didn't have a lot of evidence on these people, but they're still trying to pursue like charges.
Word, yeah, I gotta finish that movie. I started. I'm actually just at the part where they're about to go to the protest before everything happens. So I'm pretty early on in the movie.
Oh yeah,
but absolutely, just the cinematography off the rip too has been really dope. Like it looks really fire.
No, yeah, they have a phenomenal cast.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I gotta check that out. Yeah, the system is just crazy, man. There's a lot of documentaries. Like I know, like, that's a film that's about it, which is dope. There's a lot of films, but the documentary, like the Meek Mill documentary, was another one that kind of really shed light.
Ava made the Central Park 5, the Exonerated 5.
Oh,
have you watched that one?
No.
Oh
no, I'm sorry. Yes, I did. Central Park. Yes, I did watch that. Oh, that was made by the same director?
No, that was Ava. She's been like pretty much instrumental in like telling a lot of stories. She did Selma.
Oh, yes.
What else did she do? She's done a lot of big projects. She's like one of my favorites. She's just everything that she does, like cinematography, the story behind it. I know she's producing I think a docu-series about Colin Kaepernick. So I'm excited about that too. But she's just a phenomenal person, activist, kind of telling stories that haven't been told. And I think that's like, it's a different lens. I mean, we need more stories that go against what we've been told, especially when, there's multiple outlets and multiple people and if we're going to be in a diverse country, we have to have that diversity in storytelling and in movies and films and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. There's a lot of stories to be told, and they have to be told from certain perspectives in order to really have it, be true and resonate. You can't have, what I mean? And everybody, again, back to the point of where everybody has their own lens and their own story to tell. And it's just like, it's only fair that everybody, has an opportunity to present those stories. Right. But it's dope. We're seeing it, we're seeing a lot more diversity in media and now with the outlets and stuff. sometimes you might have to do a little bit more digging, right, for these independent films. But shout out to the Tide Film Festival. I don't know if you guys have checked them out, but
I definitely do.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to work with them, and shouts to Julie over there. She's created a really dope platform for a lot of underrepresented filmmakers to come together, and we Dream But Don't Sleep had the proper opportunity to cover it and produce content to like promote it and then recap the whole festival. So I got to sit and watch every movie. So it's like,
oh really, that's dope.
Awesome.
And it's the most movies I've ever watched in a 48 period of time. But it was cool. It was really awesome. It was almost like sensory overload. Like I had it was a roller coaster through like those 2 days. But the only thing I wish is that a lot of them trickled out as time went on. Like you could find out where I could share them. But like I want to show my wife like so many of the ones that haven't even been released or that are still in in that circuit. So you can only really go to these festivals to see them. But it's been really dope. So now they're going to be doing an online one coming up soon. I would check that out. I think
definitely gonna.
But that's another dope place. But again, like so places like that where you might have to do a little more digging, but then there's also a lot of different stories being told. Through the media, or through the medium of filmmaking, which is dope. But yeah, I appreciate that. So I gotta check that out. I gotta rewatch Selma too, man. It was really good. And then also finish the what was it again?
I know it was on the Central Park 5, but I think the title is
the Central Park 5 one I saw, or the it's something like they see us or something like that.
Yes, as they see us, and I think there was like a documentary after Now You See Us, or maybe it is. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they see us.
When they see us, yeah.
Shout out that, because that was, I mean, it's heartbreaking to see that this happened, but the way they captured it and the actors that portrayed the characters just really, and like even because I follow Ava on Twitter, she goes like she updates you on how they're doing and what they're doing now. Like Corey Wise has been handing out like waters and food during like the long lines in the election process.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it was really powerful, and it's like, sometimes even tough to watch, but it's it's those stories that need to be told, but it's real. History isn't really designed to, it's designed to keep these stories alive and to, make sure that just to spreading awareness and making sure that we're evolving and progressing in the right direction, right?
Yeah, she also did 13th on Netflix. About the 13th Amendment, which is something that you should definitely, actually, if you haven't watched it, check it out, because it's also about like the prison system and how like kind of the country shifted slavery into kind of like the prison system.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. No, that's definitely been on my list as well, actually. But I didn't realize that Ava was behind everything. I gotta hit her with a follow. Ava DuVernay.
DuVernay,
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DuVernay,
Ava DuVernay.
DuVernay, yeah. How do you pronounce it properly?
Ava DuVernay.
Oh, DuVernay, gotcha. Yeah. I thought you had something a little bit more of a French twist on there. Cool, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, and I always like to expand my palette with learning, just seeing different lenses, like you said, and different stories.
Yeah, man. Sharing perspectives is the best way to kind of, we're all connected. So, sharing perspectives helps strengthen that connection. And the more connected we are, then the more we can progress as, humans. Absolutely. Which is a really like acid way to look at it. But I think that's, it's that internal perspective that, will beam out and, hopefully guide us into the right direction, which, the smaller victories along the way, definitely, I have proven that, at least for me, for sure. Did I just cut out there? Somebody just tried calling me. So.
Oh, I heard you the whole time.
No, you were good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven, any flicks from you, man? Any movies or shows that you should recommend I should peep out?
When it comes to this stuff, I'm the worst. I am so far behind in all this kind of stuff. The one I just started watching Vikings, which I know is like an older show.
It's a good
Is
show.
it is it biker gang?
What? No,
Is it about Vikings or about Vikings?
Vikings, yeah, like kind of like
Vikings.
medieval times and.
Oh, copy. What's that on? What are you watching?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu, yeah.
Okay.
I think like it's still current. Like current seasons still run on like A&E, but I don't think it's like I think they're because of COVID they're not filming right now.
Yeah, I think I saw some photos of them actually, like
Yeah.
like doing production now. But yeah, that's a pretty dope show too.
Okay, I gotta check that out. Yeah, I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not really it doesn't have to be super current. I'm just looking for stuff I haven't seen. So, new or old, it's I never too late to catch up. But I feel like my feed is always super it's targeted, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, Netflix is telling me, they know what I like, but I'm like, I know what I like. I can look for all this stuff already. I know where this stuff exists. It's like, what is the stuff that I haven't, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to plug some stuff in the search and throw this algorithm off.
I would say too, another good show that like a lot of people don't really talk about that I like is The 100. And it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic world where like the first season, there's they're in a spaceship and they send 100 criminals back down to Earth to see if it's inhabitable. And then just over the course of the seasons, it just progresses and just goes in crazy directions. But it's kind of, if I had to, my favorite thing about the show is kind of like the emotionality of it, if that's a word. But the emotions that they show are some of like the deepest like decisions that you have to make and the things that you have to live with while you're making like in this world and like all the decisions they have to make are just like sometimes heart-wrenching. So it's just I would definitely recommend that.
It's an intense one, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a tearjerker.
Oh wow, how many seasons is it in?
Just finished 7, but I don't know if they're gonna renew it. Yeah,
going for that. What was that other? It was like the Lost. You're going for the Lost record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think I actually saw the pilot for that where they beamed them down. I thought it was the one where you're gonna say mad people disappeared. That was
I forget what that one was.
The Others, I think, right?
Okay.
Or the Half or something. It's like half the people disappeared or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't hold me for too long, but I gotta revisit that one. The 100 though. But seven seasons is deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
I got to tap back into the top one. But if it's here, at least it's kept the audience captivated for 7 seasons. So they're quick.
And it's on Netflix right now. They have it, so you can definitely peep that there.
Cool.
That's dope.
Awesome.
I gotta watch that too. You've been talking about that for a while, and I haven't watched it.
I keep dropping gems on Steve with that, but he'll get to it eventually.
Like I said,
it's on his terms.
I am the worst.
It's on his terms.
One of my best friends, Keith, man, he's always recommending stuff, and he knows it's weird. Like sometimes it depends on what he's recommending. Sometimes if he's recommending it, he knows I'll wait like a while to watch it, to the point where like he's got to come over and like put it on.
Yeah.
He's real passionate about it, but it's funny. It's like when you're boys, it's like they always remind you shit. It's like, all right, bro, I'm tired of hearing it. Cool, man. I appreciate the suggestions. I'm definitely gonna check them out.
Yeah, no.
So,
what about you? You have anything?
Me, as far as I mean, I've been really deep in this like Nexium documentary. It's been freaking me out.
Okay.
So there's one called The Vow I think it's on HBO, and it's a series just about this like self-help entrepreneur like network marketing group based up in Albany. And it just happens that this dude who started it, Keith Raniere, is like turned out to be like this underground sex cult like leader.
Oh.
And so there's multiple different. So it's like I didn't realize how big this thing is. There's thousands of people living in communities, and it's all networked with this thing. But then like people like celebrities were in it, like Alex, the one chick who was on Smallville, Alex Mack, I want to say, and then like Kristen Crook, who was on Smallville. Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say Small? I don't know. I think they were both maybe on the same show. Another chick was on Star Trek, was on there. But anyway, it sounded like on some Scientology type shit, but more for like entrepreneurs. But then just the hidden agendas and like the brainwashing and all that stuff kind of gets nuts. So that's the interesting thing. Kind of just got me hooked because it's like a real thing and it was filmed pretty well. But now it's like there's these spin-off ones that are coming out that are like post, like now the dude recently got arrested, which I think he got arrested mainly because of the documentary, because they were kind of publicizing that this was going on and nobody believed it. They weren't paying taxes. They were like, like it was like he kind of was on some other shit over there, on some some Epstein shit over there. Fucking, I don't know. He's evil dude, but it was crazy how it was just masqueraded as this other thing. But, and again, obviously it's sensationalized a little bit for the documentary to keep you watching, but there's now other ones popping up on Hulu and other channels where you can watch it. But documentaries like that, like The Making a Murderer, I'm always intrigued by the real shit, because I feel like those you kind of, I mean, just like any like documentaries that are real, but you kind of, you get all the factors and you kind of like the Serial podcast, things like that. I kind of got wrapped up in. But other than that, I've been watching just a lot of music videos.
That's a good way to do it too.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Guap that 4,000, 4,000, 2,000, forget how many thousands. But yeah, his Alpha music video came out. It's just like, another one of those joints, but it's just another banger. But yeah, I don't know. I could go on about music videos for hours. Yeah. I think how long we've been at it over here?
Pretty much like an hour and a half, I think. Something like that. We'll definitely have to revisit that, have another episode and talk music videos and more shit.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I hope I gave you guys some stuff to work with. I know I'm over here rambling on.
Always. I love to hear other people's perspective.
Yeah, this was great.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks again for having me, man. It's really been fun, man. Yeah. So yeah, keep me posted, man. Let's get up. I'm looking forward to revisiting this and then laughing at myself.
Always.
Yeah. One more time before we wrap, give all your tags and your shout outs where people can follow you and everything you're doing.
All right, cool. So once again, man, it's Jay DeHitta, and you can find my personal content at DeHitta the Kid, DaheataDakid, and my company is Dream But Don't Sleep. Full service media production, helping you communicate more creatively. You can check us out on Instagram at Dream But Don't Sleep. We produce No Snoozing Sessions live every Thursday, live from Grayscale Studios, which you can check out on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Dream But Don't Sleep. And yeah, we're going to be busting out some footwear soon and some more merch and some more products. So Al Grindstein, he's head of our design team. He's currently designing for Dream But Don't Sleep. So shout out to him. You can follow his stuff at Al Grindstein on Instagram. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some more things for you guys to take home. Have a little piece of Dream But Don't Sleep on your feet or on your back. We're gonna get you guys some shirts too, man. Just drop
absolutely. I will definitely rock the shit out of that.
The collegiate maroon hats and the Ron Burgundy tee. We got that. You guys both rocking burgundy right now.
Yeah.
Running up, but you guys are on season. Yeah. But we're gonna be dropping some more merch soon, and even some fuck cancer shirts for JMO to
hell yeah,
rock the fuck out of that.
Yeah, commemorate some more time out here, blessing us. So yeah. So I think that's it for me. Thanks again, guys, for letting me blast that out.
Of course, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man.
Blessing us.
Thank you for taking the time. You're a busy man. I know time is valuable.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm going to go. I'll be run some errands, and I got to go get some editing in today before I'll be tanning in front of my computer monitor. So
yep, I know the guy.
Yeah, man. But glad to hear you guys, cooking up out here, and I appreciate you guys for having me. And this is really dope. Keep on doing it. And whenever you're ready for me to come back, let me know.
Sounds good. Appreciate it,
Jeremy. We'll talk to you next week then.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Peace, guys.